Everyone, welcome back. Today also we will be starting with the Indian parliamentary system. Okay, so we have left out with the financial, control, as well as we talked about the control over the executive. Okay, today in this class we will be talking about the president, as well as we will be talking about the prime minister of India. Okay, so we will look into it one by one. So today the present president of India is Ramnath Kovind, as you can see in the picture. Okay, so the president of India is the head of the state. Okay, so the president is elected by an electoral college. Okay, remember this, the president is elected by an electoral college, okay, which consists of the elected members of the both the houses of the parliament. Okay, so in order to elect a president, okay, both the houses of the parliament are also involved, as well as the legislative assemblies of the state and the union territories are also involved in the appointment of the president of India. Okay, union territories such as Delhi and Puducherry, okay, or Pondicherry. Okay, so the president is elected for a time period of 5 years. Okay, so the eligibility, okay, in order to become a president is, okay, firstly, the person should be a citizen of India and should be above 35 years of age. Okay, and he or she should not have hold any office of profit, okay, when he or she contests for the presidentship of the country. Okay, we'll be talking about the powers of the president as well. Okay, the first is the legislative power. Okay, here what happens is the president has the power to summon or he can suspend the parliament. Okay, he has the power to even dissolve the Lok Sabha after consultation with the prime minister. Okay, so he can dissolve the Lok Sabha. Okay, after contacting with the Prime Minister of India. Okay, he can also address either the houses or both the house of the Parliament. Okay, the President addresses a joint sitting of both houses of the Parliament at the beginning of the first session, and after after the general election of the Lok Sabha, and at the beginning of the first session of each year. Okay, so next we will move down to executive powers. What are the executive powers of the president? Okay, so the executive powers of the president is the leader of the majority party. Okay, the leader of the majority party as the prime minister. Okay, so the government of the states. Okay, so the governors of the states are appointed by the president as well. The chief justice and the other judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court are also elected by the President of India, the chairman and members of UPSC and Attorney General. So the president has power in electing this post, okay, in this post, okay, people in this post. Next, if we move down, we have the judicial powers. Okay, so in judicial powers, the president can, pardon or reduce the sentence of a person. If a person is convicted, or if the person has done something wrong and he has been put to jail for 15 years. Okay, so in this 15 years, okay, say around by 5 to 6 years, when he is in prison, okay, if any person is in prison for during that time, okay, has good conduct and behavior, then the president can also reduce the sentence. Okay, reduce the sentence means from 15 years he can reduce it to 10 years, or he can reduce it to 8 years. Okay, so that is how the power of the president is. Okay, next is financial power. Okay, so what happens here is the annual budget. Okay, the annual budgets of the country is laid down before the parliament, okay, in the name of the president. Okay, no money bill can be introduced in the parliament unless recommended by the president. Okay, so no money bill will come into the parliament unless the president of India, okay, recommends it. Okay, in any form of unforeseen expenditure, okay, what the president can do is he can grant an advance from the contingency fund of India. Okay, if say example more money is exerted, okay, is spent during the during the upliftment of the society, then what the president can do is he can grant some advance amount of money, okay, which it will be taken from the contingent fund of India. Okay, next is the military power. Okay, so the president is the supreme commander of the armed forces of India. Okay, remember that the president is the supreme commander of the armed forces of India, and he has the power to declare war and conclude peace. Okay, he appoints the chiefs of the army, navy, and the air force. Okay, so the president plays as the supreme commander and he can summon a war, okay, or he can bring peace among two countries. Okay, as well as he has the power to appoint the chief of the army as well as the navy and the air force. Next is diplomatic powers. Okay, so here the president of India represents himself, okay, at the international forum as well as he receives ambassadors. Okay, so the president can appoint ambassadors and the high commissioners to other countries. Okay, all international treaties and agreements, okay, have to be concluded in the name of the president as well. Okay, so we can say that the president of India also carries a huge amount of power. Okay, next we have the emergency power. So here in this emergency powers also, the president holds special powers. Okay, so if any other country attacks India, okay, in case of any external aggression or armed rebellion, the president takes his power. Okay, he can impose emergency during the time. Okay, during the time if any country comes and attack India, so what happens is the president has the power to declare emergency in the country. Okay, number two is if the constitutional machinery of a state breaks down, okay, then what happens here is president rule can be implemented. Okay, so the chief minister or the ministers in the state will not function. Rather, the president will announce president rule and he will take in charge of the functions, okay, of the state. Okay, number three is if there is threat to financial stability of the country. Okay, so if the economy of the country is crumbling down, okay, if the economy of a country is crumbling down, what happens is in that time also, okay, in that time also they will try to solve they will try to solve this problem as well as they will declare emergency during that time as well. Next, we have the Prime Minister of India. Okay, the current Prime Minister of India is Shri Narendra Modi. Okay, and as we all know, okay, the Prime Minister is the head of the majority party. Okay, he is also the leader of the Lok Sabha. Okay, and he along with the president, okay, they advise each other, okay, in terms of the functioning of the country. Okay, the prime minister is the link, okay, between the president and the legislature as well. Okay, so under that, okay, councils of minister. Okay, so there are councils of minister. Okay, there are councils of minister which is headed by the prime minister and also advised by the president in exercise of his function. Okay, so the president acts in accordance with such advice. Okay, the councils of ministers is divided into cabinet minister, ministers of state, deputy ministers. Okay, so it is divided, the councils of ministers are divided accordingly, like the cabinet ministers, okay, ministers of state, deputy ministers. Okay, so the cabinet ministers, okay, they are considered as the highest rank ministers. Okay, so why? Because they take important decisions for the nation. Okay, so the head, okay, they had the different portfolios and departments of the central government, like finance, defense and all, whereas the ministers of states and deputy ministers are the ones who have to follow the decisions which were made by the cabinet ministers. Okay, so the cabinet ministers, they hold the highest rank, and they are the one which decides the important, functioning of the nation. Okay, and they are the head of different portfolios and departments. Okay, so, in the central government. Okay, next is eligibility. Okay, eligibility to the council of ministers. Okay, so to be eligible for the appointment as ministers, a person must be a member of either house of the parliament, either Rajya Sabha or the Lok Sabha. Okay, however, a person can also be a member. Okay, he or she can be appointed for a period of 6 months. Okay, but he or she has to obtain membership of either houses of the parliament. So how does the cabinet, councils of minister work? Okay, so the prime minister is like the head. Okay, and after that, under him will be the councils of ministers. Okay, so these councils of ministers, they will work under the prime minister as a team. Okay, so they will make collective choices, as well as they will maintain responsibilities, and they will also be answerable to the parliament on any discussion or decision, okay, which they take. And if a vote of no confidence is passed, okay, against the government, the councils of ministers, they have to resign. Okay, so in order to prevent that, okay, they have to work carefully, precisely, so that the nation would not be in trouble. Okay, so with this we come to the end of this chapter. In this chapter we learned about ideals of a parliament. Okay, what a parliament is, how does a parliament function, and under this, we studied about the prime minister as well as the president. Okay, there are different rules and powers in the Indian democratic system. Okay, with which we come to the end of this chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.